CP Plus is one of the last remaining big camera industry trade shows, and it's being held at Yokohama every year, and it has all the major manufacturers, tons of accessory manufacturers as well, and it's a really, really fun time as a camera nerd to be there and check out all the new products. Fortunately, it's open to the public, so I took a few hours the other day and went to check it out. So the following is just a walkthrough, so it's not an in-depth review of any products or anything, but I did get to play with a few really, really fun things at the show, such as the new Sigma BF, as well as checking out the first prototype of the TTArtisan's Instax folder. And I had a really good time at the show. So let's walk through CP Plus 2025 together, and I hope you will enjoy it just as much as I did. As you can see, it was a beautiful day in Yokohama on the weekend, and just the right kind of weather to spend indoors all day and not see the sunlight. This is the entrance into the main trade show hall. As you can see, it starts out with a table with paper maps, and then just an exhibition of work from just regular citizens and a few booths of university camera clubs. So I really like that effort to show off actual photography before we get into the gear section. And of course, the gear section does make up most of the show. My first stop was, of course, the Sigma booth. As you know, probably if you're here, they just came out with a new model, the Sigma BF camera. So I got in line to try out the BF, and there was a talk going on by one of the product engineers, and he gave a few really fun anecdotes about the development of this camera and the silver lenses that go with it. And one of the things that he pointed out was that he took it to a wedding, and it really fit in as like a beautiful object that you wouldn't mind having on the table. He said that up until now, he's always brought a Barnack Leica, but this has replaced it as his go-to for friends' weddings. And then here it is. I unfortunately got the black Sigma BF to try out and not the silver. First, it took me a while to find the power button. It's actually the little button with the dot at the bottom there. But then once I did get it switched on, I got to try it out a little bit, and I actually found it a little easier to hold than I expected. I thought it would be kind of unergonomic, but it didn't bother me that much. As you can see, you can change any setting on the camera without actually having the menu overlay on the display itself, which is kind of cool. So you don't have any intrusions, you just have that little indicator on the top right, and then you can flip through the settings with the top and bottom or left and right buttons. And if you hit the button in the middle, then you can bring up the overlay. I do really like the industrial design on this, as well as the lenses that go with them. I've always enjoyed the industrial designs on the Sigma lenses quite a bit. It's very cohesive, I feel, as opposed to another camera that I will be trying pretty soon.
ことないですもんね。USB とかだと USB だったら
USB からの出力っていうのはできるんですけれども、後付けでは考えてなかったので、つけるところがないんですよね。
そうですね。固定する
には
ここからブラケットややこしい。なるほど。上下左右両方とも同じように動くわけですか。一応メニューで置くこともできて、これだけでいける。
And then one big draw of the Sigma booth is their library. They just have a huge library of photo books, and they just bring it out to CP Plus every time. And you can just sit around and browse through photo books by all sorts of famous and not so famous photographers. So it's a really, really cool booth to just hang out at. And next off was the OM Systems booth. Formerly Olympus, they always have a big focus on wildlife and like nature photography, and it's just all over the booth. You can see there's a few like nature photographs on the wall of the booth right there, and then you can talk to some of the engineers and get some of the product right away. And then there's, of course, a big touch and try section of the newest cameras. And of course, the one that I wanted to look at is the OM3. And you can see it right here. And yeah, I enjoyed handling it. It's a little kind of more lightweight and plasticky than I thought. And the thing that really disappointed me about it was the back of the camera. The back of the camera, at first I thought it was the wrong one because it just looks so digital and just, I felt it doesn't really mesh with the front of the camera really well. With that black plastic part of the viewfinder starting in the middle, and then just the control are just, I think the controls are just the same as the other OM Systems cameras, and was kind of disappointing, to be honest. I would have liked to have those in more like metal look as well. Outside of the Olympus booth, there was Hasselblad / DJI with the focus on DJI, I felt. Booth. Didn't really spend much time there. And then there's a Google Pixel booth. It was interesting. And then the distributor of the Laowa lenses had a booth as well that I briefly checked out. I used one of their micro lenses for scanning, and I'm very happy with it. And then, of course, one of the main attractions, Fujifilm. Of course, no film to be seen. Right across from them was the Marumi filter booth. And then we'll take a look inside the Fuji booth. These panels here are showing off their film simulations. And then you have a GFX section, and some dancers, of course. And then something I always appreciate is little gallery sections of the booths, like here. They had a weird metaverse exhibit as well, which, yeah, wasn't really my thing. I didn't check it out. I did enjoy this little exhibit here on the side. Love that shot of BA of the blue pond. And then a few more X series lenses and cameras to try out. And then, of course, over half of the booth, I think, was devoted to Instax, or Checky as it's called over here. They always have these like video game collaborations. I don't think it was an actual branded camera. I think it's just like a print service that you can use, print out your screenshots or something. And then they had the White Evo on display, and this was quite popular. They had a few models that you can use to just print out your smartphone photography, as well as take a few pictures in the booth. As you can see, Instax is really the bread and butter of Fujifilm over here. They really emphasize the Checky section of the booth at every one of these shows. A little bit on Nikon here. I did not line up to try the Z6 III. And then, of course, again, one of those test shooting areas. I always kind of enjoy these. They're always very fun designs. They had an actual bar for their lenses, so it's called a lens bar. So I actually quite enjoy these little playful sections of the booth. I kind of breezed by that. There was a little red section of the booth as well. So sorry for not going into that. Yeah. And again, a little exhibition, a few young and up-and-coming photographers featured there. And the next section is the Lomography booth. As you might be aware, I work with Lomography Japan every once in a while. They send me stuff to try out. I do little reviews and stuff, so I always enjoy working with them. They're very easy to deal with. They are working on some cine versions of their Petzval lenses, and as you might have seen, they came out with a daylight developing tank. So I made sure to check that out. I don't really develop my own film because I always shoot color, and I have children in the house and don't want the chemicals around. Also, no time. It's a really simple looking design. It's very, very fun looking design. You just plop in the cartridge, and then you load it in, you crank the lever, and that just loads the film inside the outside circumference of the tank. And then you have that little red lever, and if you switch that, it cuts the film off, and you can take out the cartridge. And then pour in the chemicals and do your thing. I also got to meet one of the founders of Lomography at the booth, which, as an Austrian living in Japan, it's quite fun to be able to talk with them a little bit. Next up, Sony. As you can see, another kind of portrait shooting booth here. Disassembled Burano. That was kind of cool to see. As you can see, a lot of the displays are kind of focused more towards women and towards the softer kind of sensibilities, a lot of flowers, and then on the other side, of course, taekwondo fighters. They also have like break dancers and other athletes, which is, I guess, to show off the autofocus mostly. As you can see on the top there, there's a little gallery where you can try out the telephoto lenses. So I went up there, briefly saw Jason Wong, didn't get to say hi, sadly. Jason, if you're watching this, hi. And this is another highlight that I really wanted to check out. It was a folder based on old Seagull cameras by TTArtisan, and it shoots Instax mini film. So this is a really kind of compact folding Instax camera, and it looks really cool. So it's a really retro design. It's based on old medium format folders, which, as you might know, I really enjoy. And yeah, it looks cool. Little rough around the edges. There's all the moving parts are kind of grindy still, so a lot of metal on metal contact that still needs to be refined. But it's only prototype. They don't have a release date yet, and they were telling me that it's going to be about 50 to 60,000 yen, which would be like $300 to $400, which is not super cheap, but also not outrageous for an Instax camera. And then, of course, the Cosina booth. I'm, as you might know, a big Folklander nerd, so this is always one of the booths that I enjoy. But as you can see, they have a few Zeiss optics out as well. As you might know, the new Otus lenses were just announced, and I went to check those out, as well as the new Folklander portrait Heliar lenses. So let's have a look at those. This is the Folklander Heliar 75 1.8, I believe. Very solid build, and then you have that bokeh control ring on the front. So let's look at a few pictures of those, and I'll put on the screen which mode it was. And then, of course, I got to check out the new Otus 50mm lens. Really good, solid build quality. I also really enjoy the bokeh, which you can see in a few seconds. And then they also gave me the other focal length, which is supposed to come out at the end of the year, which is the 85 1.4, and I was able to shoot that a little bit at the booth as well. So that was kind of a treat. That was really fun. Next up, Lumix. I haven't used a Lumix camera since the GX1. I just did a brief walkthrough of this. Enjoyed the booth. Like that cafe van there. And then a really cool booth was the Tamron booth. I'd already seen this online, and it did not disappoint. They have kind of an Godzilla collaboration going on, and they have a huge diorama of a Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla fight there, and it just looked so cool. And then, of course, cat photos. Who doesn't love cat photos? And then another treat was the huge Plarail model train diorama that they had put up. This is a huge thing in Japan. The Japanese people love their trains, and Plarail is kind of a more child-focused model train system. It's really, really fun to check them out. This is the area that has all the University Camera Club booths, so it's always a treat to walk through these. And this guy, definitely the guy with the most cameras on at the event. He was really gracious about taking videos or photographs of him, so really appreciate that. Kodak only had cheap digital cameras, of course. And of course, all the accessory manufacturers were there, like Newer. And that's it. So that was a quick walkthrough through the main hall of CP Plus. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go on the weekend, so I didn't get to check out the Zine Fair, which I really wanted to see. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough, and yeah, hope we'll get to go there again next year. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again.